Hi, I'm Colin, and this is Spaceflight Made Simple. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting payload that's flown exclusively on Falcon 9s. And that is SpaceX's Starlink system. Now, Starlink is this big, ambitious project that Elon Musk has. And what he wants to do is deploy 12,000 very small satellites with the intention of being able to deliver internet to anywhere on Earth. Now, the implications of this are wide. It could be anything from providing internet to third world countries in Africa, or high-speed data to ships at sea. But the most interesting thing about Starlink is the way it affects the launches. So as I mentioned, Starlink flies exclusively on Falcon 9s. Since the payload is built by SpaceX, launched for an initiative run by SpaceX on a rocket built by SpaceX, they pretty much have control of the entire launch process. Actually, come to think of it, Starlink are the only flights that I've seen that will scrub because the conditions for recovering the booster aren't right. Normally, SpaceX will launch, and if they can recover the booster, great. If they can't, then they can't. But the main goal is to get the payload into orbit. With Starlink, they can afford to wait. They're not going to have an angry customer like, hey, you didn't launch on time, because they're the customer. Another interesting thing is they're launched in really, really large batches. SpaceX's goal is to launch a Starlink batch every 2 weeks. And when they launch, a batch is actually 60 satellites. So one rocket launch deploys 60 smaller Starlink satellites to make up part of this, like I said, 12,000 satellite constellation that they're building. Generally, Starlink launches are launches that the booster is recoverable. So generally there's a launch and a landing involved. And like I said, since it's a SpaceX payload, they can really prioritize a safe recovery of the booster. Starlink isn't entirely without its flaws, though. There's a lot of people very unhappy with Starlink as a concept for two reasons. The first is light pollution. 12,000 satellites reflect a lot of light. Astronomers have been seeing the Starlink satellites in their telescopes now. It's becoming a much larger problem for them, and it's going to be a larger problem as more and more of them are put into space. The other big fear about Starlink is a cascade. If you've ever seen the film Gravity, it's what happens in Gravity, where one satellite hits something and creates a shower of debris that hit other satellites. So, as I mentioned, with the pace that SpaceX is trying to maintain, there will be Starlink launches roughly every 2 weeks, so you miss one, there's going to be another one down the line. They're pretty run-of-the-mill Falcon 9 launches, but still definitely worth checking out. The Falcon 9's launch sequence is gorgeous, and I will do a video on that at some point. But unlike my last video, which was talking about the Crew Dragon in-flight abort, which, if you want to go see that, I'll throw a link in one of the corners. Because Starlink flies so often, I don't want to really give a finite date because, like I said, every 2 weeks. So, not going to give a tune-in this time to see the launch because, every 2 weeks. But if you want updates on SpaceX launches like Starlink or anything space news related, the link to my Twitter is down below in the description. I try to keep it relatively up to date on launches and things going on in spaceflight. I'll do my best there to let you know up-to-date information on things like Starlink launches and, whatever else is going up into space. But if you enjoyed what you saw here today, or you just want more updates on space or space news or space stuff, head down below with the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. But if you have any questions about Starlink or spaceflight in general, head down below, leave them in the comments, and I'll try my best to get around to them, and who knows, it might be the topic of a future video. So for Spaceflight Made Simple, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.